everybody, it's Heather, the Butterfly Effect, plant-based extreme weight loss, with another episode of how to take off 100 pounds or more. And today you're here with me in my kitchen because I wanted to talk about calories and caloric density. Now, I don't count calories, and I haven't for a long time. And the reason is that I don't feel like I need to anymore because I understand caloric density. And I was trying to explain the concept of caloric density to someone the other day, and they were like, you know, this is kind of confusing. So I saw a demonstration done by one of my plant-based heroes, Chef AJ, and I thought that she just explained caloric density so well with this demo that I wanted to try to recreate it for you. If you haven't had a chance to check out Chef AJ, you really should, because she is just amazing and she has a lot of really good recipes that I think you would like. So the way that she explained it was that, so first of all, caloric density means how many calories something has per pound. So the least caloric food is like vegetables, and the most caloric food is oil, and everything else falls in the middle. And so when something has a lot of calories per pound, we call that calorically dense, full of calories, right? And something that is less calorically dense, we call that dilute. If it doesn't have very many calories per pound of food, then it's dilute, okay? So one of the things that she did in her demonstration was she used a quart-sized jar. So this is your standard quart-sized jar that I drink my smoothies out of. And this is about how much your stomach holds. This holds about 32 ounces in a quart, but this actually holds 1 more ounce. And so this is about, think of this like a stomach, okay? And so I'm going to show you how much the different kinds of foods will fill up your stomach, okay? So let's start with the least calorically dense food, and then we'll go to the most calorically dense. And all these foods are going to be plant-based foods because I don't have animal foods in my house, so I can't show you that, but I can tell you where they fall on the caloric density scale, okay? All right, so here's the stomach. Let's start with vegetables, okay? So this is a jar full of carrots, and these are sugar snap peas. And actually, of the veggies, sugar snap peas are one of the more calorically dense veggies that you can have, okay? But so, and what I'm looking at is I'm trying to get to 400 calories of the different kinds of foods, okay? So if I do 400 calories of veggies, my goodness, I have to have 1 stomach full, 2 stomach fulls, plus another half a stomach full. This is a half quart. And even, you know, they still don't fit in there. So 400 calories of veggies is going to fill my stomach twice and a half, okay? So that is very calorically dilute. Not very many calories in veggies. So the next most dilute kind of food would be fruit. So this is 4 cups of blueberries, and you can see that completely fills my stomach up with the 4 cups of blueberries, and I still need an additional this much berries to be 400 calories. So that's this is some frozen fruit, but you can see that fruit is the next least calorically dense food. That's a lot of food. It'll fill my stomach twice and probably a half or a little bit more to get 400 calories of food, okay? All right. So then the next one in line is, let's scoot those out of the way, grains. So this is actually a seed. This is quinoa. And this is 400 calories of quinoa. Quinoa is a lot like brown rice or like white rice. I use it pretty much the same ways that I use rice. But a lot of vegans like it better because it has a lot of protein in it. It has about 8 grams of protein in a cup, and it has a little fat too, some essential fatty acids. So you can see, I mean, it'll satisfy me pretty well for 400 calories, especially if I would, you know, mix it with some vegetables. That's what I would probably do, is have some veggies, and I wouldn't eat maybe all that quinoa. That's a lot of quinoa. Okay, so that's grains. Okay, the next most calorically dense would be beans. Okay, if you're not eating beans, boy, you're missing out on a lot of good things that they bring to the table. Not only are they full of protein, full of healthy carbs, really delicious, can really make your food taste better, but they have a lot of antioxidants, and they have something called beta glucan, which helps you to lower your cholesterol, and they're just like oat bran does, that has that too. A nice thing about beans is there's something called resistant starch. And resistant starch, for every 150 calories of resistant starch you eat, you're only going to get about 100 calories that gets digested, because your body can't digest resistant starch as well. So that is a nice thing about beans, is even though they're a little bit more calorically dense, you can see this is 400 calories of beans. Okay. But of that 400 calories of beans, I'm probably only going to get about 300 calories out of it that's digested. Okay. Or that, you know, that ends up being calories that I'll use. Okay. So that's beans. That's the next most calorically dense. And then check this out, you guys. I find this kind of revealing. This is what 400 calories of nuts looks like. This is why I don't really eat nuts anymore. That is not a lot of nuts for 400 calories. My cow, that is only a half a cup of pecans. And I really like them. And, you know, nuts have a lot of antioxidants. They're a really good food. Sorry, my shot is terrible here. They're really good food for you. They're nutritionally dense. They have the right kind of fat that's good for your heart, good for your brain. But it just, if you're trying to lose weight, nuts are not necessarily your friend, because even though they have a lot of fiber, that isn't really going to fill you up. For 400 calories, that's not a lot of bang for your buck, okay? All right, let's talk about something that I don't even use, and that is oil. I do not use oil because it, unlike nuts, it doesn't bring any nutrition. It's everything good about the olive or good about the corn or good about any of it has been stripped away, and all that's left is the fat, okay? And oil is the most calorically dense food there is because it's pure fat. Remember that every gram of fat has 9 calories, while every gram of carbohydrate only has 4 calories, okay? And so this is all you get for 400 calories of oil. Can you believe that? 400 calories of oil. It's such a small container. Do you think, so here, if I put it next to my pretend stomach here, is that going to make you satisfied? That little bit? It's going to barely cover the bottom of the jar. Just a tiny bit. Let's put it in our stomach. Yeah, I think you're still going to be hungry after that. And that's 400 calories. Okay? And you don't need oil. You don't need oil. So what do you use instead of oil if you want something to taste creamy, or, you know, to give you that pleasant fat taste? Well, you can go ahead and put a few nuts in with other ingredients to make like a creamy salad dressing, or you could use another kind of healthy fat like an avocado, but always choose the whole food. So a whole food, okay, over a very processed food, okay, and then you'll be fine. Okay, so I hope that explains caloric density. And all you have to do to never have to count calories again is always eat from this side over, okay? So what I do is, these guys, sorry, I just don't eat very many of you. I might put a couple of you in a recipe, but that's about it. Oil, you're not going to be part of my diet because Dr. Esselstyn says that you hurt my epithelial cells, which are in the inside of my heart, and I believe him. And, you know, you're too fattening, you're too calorically dense, and you don't taste like anything. You don't bring anything to the table. You're not delicious like a piece of fruit or a bowl of yummy beans and rice or something. So this, gotta go. Not even gonna eat that. All you have to do is eat mostly this, the least calorically dense, or if you're a fruity person, mostly this, okay? And then fill yourself up on your veggies and your fruits, okay? And then have a little bit of these guys, and preferably have them together because they're delicious and because they complement each other, okay? And just cut the rest of the other stuff out. Work on cutting it out. Eat more fresh, whole food every single day, and you won't have to count calories. If you do that, if you fill your plate half with fruits and veggies and half with starches like beans and quinoa and rice and potatoes and sweet potatoes, whole foods that are starches, you will take off weight without having to count calories. We want to get away from being obsessed and counting everything. You know, that is just feeding into the obsession that is part of addiction. Trying to control everything and trying to, you know, put our focus so much on food. There's a whole life to live out there. There's a lot of fun things to do. So I say, eat your fruits, eat your veggies, eat a little bit of starch, get out of the kitchen and have fun. And I will see you for the next episode of How to Take Off 100 Pounds. And I hope you have a great, great day. Bye-bye.